the Force be with us all today because we have a brand new Star Wars show called Star Wars Visions. It's an anime short stories telling where every episode is a different story created from a different anime studio, and my god, it is flat out amazing and awesome. And if you're an anime fan, rejoice, you're going to have a blast with this one. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new TV review. Today we're going to be discussing Disney Plus's brand new series, Star Wars Visions, which I've been pretty excited about, but also pretty skeptical because I'm like, how are you going to do these anime shorts and not want me to have more of them or even more invested in this world or even the concept at all? Now, before we get any further, this will be a non-spoiler review. I won't be diving into many of the details, and I'm thinking about doing a ranking of every single one of the episodes, so if you guys are interested in that, let me know down below because I'll try and do that later this week. Just hit that like and subscribe button as well, and also comment down below again on which one's your favorite if you've already watched it, or in general which one you are most looking forward to from the trailers. Now, with Star Wars Visions, there are 9 episodes that I got to watch, and I loved nearly all of them. There's maybe 2 or 3 weak ones that didn't totally correlate with me, but even then, I still kind of dug them for what the style and unique tone they were. And these aren't 30-minute things. These are like 15 to maybe 22 minutes at most, and it never skips a beat of like having to do exposition too heavily, or even in general not giving you enough details. It's all formulated pretty good to where you understand what the world is at, maybe not the time period, but you understand who the character is, what they're setting out to do, and what they need to do. And all of these are heavily inspired by, I feel like, other anime mediums, or in general just their kind of own unique things. There's one that's completely like what would be like, you know, every time you watch an anime, there's always a kick-ass opening theme song. Well, there's one thing to that in here where I'm like, okay, like this is typically like the anime opening theme song. Then you have another thing that you look at and you're like, okay, this is like straight up inspired by like Astro Boy. And then this one's inspired by like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Jack. And this one, if Miyazaki, yes, Miyazaki himself, who has done so many fabulous things with Studio Ghibli, if he were to make a Star Wars anime, this would be it. And flat out, that was my favorite one. I'm going to let you kind of think up to which one that is, but I loved it. And then there's even one that's heavily inspired by Kurosawa. I mean, it's just baffling to me how they were able to create all these short stories and very much hinge them on homages to other anime, or just in general the Star Wars franchise, and make it completely unique to itself, but make you fall in love with it. And I don't know how people who aren't in anime will feel about the show. I still think this show kicks a lot of ass, and it's just as someone who takes this as, you know, maybe it'll take place in the same Star Wars universe. Some of the characters I absolutely love and want to keep exploring, but there's even other elements to this all that you just sit there and you're totally entertained through each and every short story. And you're watching it, and again, I don't know how non-anime fans will feel about this, but as someone who loves Star Wars and anime and the fact that it's all mixing together, I want more of this. In fact, I want some of these short stories to actually become a full-fledged series, especially the one that I thought was heavily, like, if Miyazaki were to have created it, it would have been that one. It gave me, like, Castle in the Sky vibes, Spirited Away vibes, and I was just, like, totally in for it the entire way through. There's even one, even when you look at the trailer and you're like, oh, that one's probably not going to be for me. That was me. There's this one with, like, this bunny character that I really didn't think was going to be for me, but watching it, it flat out reminded me of Dragon Ball Z at times, and I'm like, you sold me. This is exactly what I wanted to watch. Again, the creativity in here is some of the most unique aspects of Star Wars Visions, and seeing, again, these visions, quote-unquote, with what is happening inside these worlds. The action is absolutely out of this world, and some of the coolest lightsaber fights you will ever see are probably inside this show, even though some of them are absolutely wild and bonkers and insane, especially if you've seen the trailer, the one with the umbrella. I mean, that's just insane, but I loved it. And I love how they brought this all together, and again, how the animation sways and moves. None of it feels cheap. It all feels so great. Even some of the ones that you don't know where it's going, like the Astro Boy one. As I'm watching this, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this one, even when it started. But by the end of that one, holy shit, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. That's what I love being a Star Wars fan, is I love when new creative risks are taken like this, and that's why I'm really excited to see the rest of the shows that Lucasfilm has planned for us. You know, of course, we have The Mandalorian Season 3, Boba Fett that we know we're getting, but we also have Cassian Andor, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and we probably know how those are probably going to be developed or how they're going to look or be creative. Star Wars Visions is a completely new medium, and I think anime, and just in general, animation is one of the most underrated niches in filmmaking because you can do so much with it. Look at what Marvel's doing with What If. It's a very unique take on it, and now we get this with Star Wars. I mean, us anime and just animation geeks are totally thriving right now with all this, and I love it. It's hard again to review the entire show because each and every episode is so different, but when you look at it, you know, the straight homages make me happy. The callbacks and Easter eggs that you'll find throughout each an episode, and how some pertain to other parts of the Star Wars universe that we very much know and love, or even just other like clans or cults like Jabba the Hutt, Boba Fett, Tusken Raiders, you know, an R2-D2 droid, or just in general things like that, where you watch this and you're like, I love these callbacks because it puts a big smile on your face and they're just playing around in the world. Each episode, again, different. The score for each one honestly had me floored. I loved the fight scenes. I loved the coloring and the animation, and every single one of them was just so different. And the humor as well in some of these just totally worked, and the vibe. I just dug this show, and I could not stop watching it, and thankfully all these are debuting at the exact same time, so you won't have to wait week to week. You'll be able to watch them every single time, all throughout one thing, and you'll just have an awesome time with it all. I really dug Star Wars Visions, and overall, I'm going to give this show an A. My only reason to not give it an A+ is I do feel like I don't know if we're going to get more of this, and I also don't know if in the fact of some of these episodes weren't the best, but they were interesting, and I want more of this. I want more of some of these worlds, and I hope Lucasfilm looks at this and being like, okay, this one is getting a great reaction. Let's give that one like a green light to get an entire new series. And maybe that's how like some shows are doing it now. I have the theory that What If is also doing that. Like Marvel might be looking at like, okay, people really like the zombies, so let's do like a zombies animated show. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my idea. That's my concept, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. How excited are you for Star Wars Visions? Let's discuss it all down there. Make sure again to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as comment down below your guys' overall thoughts. I had a blast talking with you guys today, and make sure to also head on over to Samsung Films on how to see films early. And of course, it's a big thing to you, and a big thing to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I would not be able to do this. So let's have some great discussions down below, and of course, may the Force be with us all.